Good evening once again, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday Creative Living series. It's always a joy to gather and explore the power within us, its limitless power, and its limitless ability to shape our lives and step fully into our potential. Tonight, we focus on a topic that speaks directly to our personal growth and transformation, and it's getting out of our way. Each of us has the power to create and manifest, yet we often find ourselves stuck, blocked by patterns, beliefs, and habits that hinder our progress. We've gotten so used to things being the way they are that we forget to look forward, to progress. We're so comfortable with status quo. We are so comfortable with the things that are going wrong because we're scared of tomorrow. We're scared of change. So this evening, we will explore how to break through these barriers. We want to embrace the power of now, the present moment, and fully claim the life we are waiting for. Everything, like we say, we know we have so much power in the present moment. You've heard the saying, you are your own worst enemy. It's not always easy to admit, but in many ways, we stand in the way of our greatest success, happiness, and fulfillment. We don't even know when we do that. We hesitate when opportunities arise. We doubt our abilities, and we allow past failures to dictate our future choices. I've tried it so many times and I did not succeed. So I'm just comfortable. I don't want to continue trying. Nobody in my family has ever exceeded this limit. And I don't want to, because of series of things that have happened in the past. So we just have gotten comfortable with being the way we are. Often it's not the external obstacles, but internal fears and limiting beliefs that create the greatest barriers. It's not anything outside of you that is hindering you. The habits we hold on to, the negative self-talk we entertain, and the fears we refuse to face quietly shape our reality. And they keep us stuck in patterns that no longer serve us. But again, we've gotten so used to the patterns that we'll rather just stick with it. I'm just comfortable the way I am. At least I can pay my bills. At least I can travel once in 1 year or once in 5 years. I'm just comfortable. And you sit down and regurgitate those negative self-talks all the time. You know, there's a way we live in an unpleasant environment that has become normal. It's not the norm for you. I'm so comfortable with this abuse. I'm so comfortable with things not working out. So recognizing this truth is the first step toward reclaiming our power and stepping into a life we were meant to live. Again, we would want to ask ourselves the question, what life would you want to live? Do you have dreams? Do you have milestones that you want to work towards and achieve? The good news, just as we have the ability to create these barriers, we also have the power to remove them. Whatever is the hindrance, you have the absolute power to change them. Think of it like untangling a knot. You first recognize where it's tight before gently loosening it. So we want to first of all understand and know what is keeping us comfortable in this situation. What is holding us now? What is preventing us from taking that step? With awareness and practice, the restrictions we place on ourselves can be undone. You have to be aware of it and practice releasing it, letting it go. Awareness and practice are the twin forces that drive lasting transformation. If you're not hungry for a change, if you're not aware there is a situation that needs a change, you probably will not know what to do. So awareness is a foundation. It allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with clarity, recognizing the subconscious patterns that shape our lives. There must have been a series of thoughts, a series of negative beliefs or patterns that's brought you to where you are. So without awareness, we remain trapped in cycles of self-sabotage, unaware of the limiting beliefs and fears holding us back. The moment we begin to notice these internal roadblocks, we reclaim the ability to change them. You have to see it as a challenge, as a problem. If not, then you can't change it. Practice is where true change happens. Awareness alone is not enough. That you're aware of the challenge, you're aware of the situation. It's okay, but it's not the total thing. It's not enough. We want to actively choose new thoughts. The bad thoughts will always come in. What do you do when the bad thoughts play in? Do you entertain it? Do you open the doors and have dinner with the thoughts, the negative thoughts? Or do you get rid of them immediately? So awareness, like I said, is not enough. We want to actively choose new thoughts, responses, and behaviors that align with our highest potential. It is in the small, consistent efforts, the way we challenge negative thought, self-talk, take action despite fear. Despite the situation, we want to take action. Like we said, we treat and we move our feet and reinforce empowering habits that we begin to shift our reality. I'm used to this pattern. I no longer want this pattern operating in my life. And you change the thoughts that will give birth to new things. Like strengthening a muscle, the more we practice stepping beyond old limitations, the more natural it becomes. So, for example, when negative thoughts come, instead of entertaining it, would say, get lost, get out of my mind. This is not what I want to be. We're aware of it and we're taking action. Before you know it, you consciously begin to hear or know when those thoughts come in. And when they come in, you quickly get rid of it. Sometimes may have to stand up, speak out to the situation. This is not who I want to be. I do not tolerate this. Get out of my mind. And affirm the truth of who you are. Transformation does not require perfection. All it requires is just persistence. The small continuous steps. Each time we confront a limiting belief, push through hesitation, or step into courage, we chip away at the barriers that once confined us. And that's why everybody here, we're all practitioners. All we do is practice day by day, one step after the other. We practice seeing the good in all situations. Even in the bad situation, we want to see the good because there is good there. The process may be gradual, but with continued awareness and dedicated practice, we unlock a version of us that is free, capable, and fully empowered. Our work here in this teaching is about recognizing, shifting, and ultimately transforming anything that limits us from experiencing our best life. We are here to live our best lives. We are here to thrive. So as we begin, let's take a moment to reflect on how we might be getting in our own way. How are you getting in your way? Sometimes it's our thoughts, the doubts, or past experiences that hold us back. Other times it's the habits and beliefs we've carried for years without questioning them. Well, this is how we do it. It's always been like this. So whether it's working or it's not working, because you've always done it that way, you just want to continue doing it that way. And you continue getting the same results. So tonight we want to explore how to recognize these barriers, shift our mindset, and take meaningful steps towards the life we truly desire. Again, you probably just run through your mind, what do I desire in my life? I want to start with recognizing the self-sabotage. Many of us unknowingly stand in our way, trapped in patterns so familiar that we fail to recognize their grip on our lives. The patterns are subtle yet powerful, manifesting as procrastination, self-doubt, and a reluctance to step beyond what feels safe. When we get so comfortable with the routine that we do not want to expand, we're even scared of something challenging. We hesitate, waiting for perfect moment, the right circumstance, or the assurance that we won't fail, unaware that this hesitation is the barrier keeping us from progressing. Sometimes we want people to tell us that we won't fail. We want people to assure us that if we do this, we will excel, we will succeed. If I try this business venture, you will do it. And we're waiting for things outside of us to affirm the truth, the power that we are one with. I don't know if you've had that situation. We always want to go to someone to tell us, oh, do it this way, to direct us. Meanwhile, we have the internal guidance system. And each time we affirm, we are one with divine intelligence, with creative intelligence. So we carry the weight of past mistakes, replaying them in our minds as if doing so somehow will change the outcome. And we always talk about science. You tried something many times and you're still expecting a change. And yes, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown often takes the reins, steering our decisions and convincing us that staying where we are is better than venturing into the uncertain. Fear of rejection is something that just grieves us. Because we are scared we'll be rejected, we'll be turned down, or we may not be heard, we may not be as good. I'd rather not say anything. I'd rather just be the way I am. I can't handle another rejection. I can't handle another no. Another no will break me. I don't know if I can get out of another rejection. But that is the negative side playing out. What if you tell those fears that you are one with all that there is? We talked in one of these lessons here that fear is like it's like a mirage. If you boldly confront the fear, as you get closer to it, it disappears. But life does not wait. Life is a movement. It's a flow and evolution. We have to keep moving. It is constantly expanding through you, shaped by your thoughts, by your beliefs and your perceptions. So whether you rise to new possibilities or remain in cycles of limitation is not determined by luck or anything external or fate. It is determined by the state of your consciousness. Your awareness of what you believe, what you expect, and what you claim as possible dictates the direction of your journey. Let me say this again. Your awareness of what you believe. What do you believe it's possible? Do you believe you can do exceedingly abundantly and above? Do you believe in what you affirm? And that's why when we say anything or want to do our affirmations, affirm it until you feel it, until you know that is possible. Do you believe that your tomorrow will be better than your today? What do you believe? What do you expect? We often talk about positive expectancy. And what you claim as possible dictates the direction of your journey. Dr. Greg often reminds us of the profound impact of our words. The words that you speak are powerful. Your languaging. I will be whole. No, I am whole. I am complete. I am abundant. Language is not just a means of communication, it's a creative force. I love, approve, and accept myself the way I am. The words we speak, whether aloud or in our minds, send messages to our subconscious, reinforcing the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we can achieve. If we continually say, I can't, it's too hard, I'm not good enough, those words would also shape your reality. They create walls where none existed, reinforcing the illusion of limitation. So what do you say? What do you speak? Instead, we ask ourselves, are we affirming our power or reinforcing our limitations? Or which divide are you? Do our words reflect belief in our abilities, or do they subtly express doubt and hesitation? Do we say, I am capable, I am strong, I am ready, Or do we lean toward, I hope I can, I wish I were, or maybe someday? Where do we play? Are we lifting ourselves or engaging in self-criticism? When we make a mistake, do we show ourselves kindness and learn from it? Or do we berate ourselves, feeding a cycle of self-doubt? Do we recognize our growth, or do we focus solely on where we fall short? And that's why we always talk about thanksgiving and gratitude. We don't want to magnify the errors, the mistakes. We want to be grateful for the good. Every moment holds potential, but our perspective determines what we see. Are we seeing life as an unfolding opportunity, or focusing on what is wrong? Are we looking for doors that are opening, or are we fixating on the ones that have closed? Are we embracing the possibilities before us? Because those possibilities, they are new every morning. Or are we waiting for the things to be different before we take action? Are you waiting for everything to be perfect before you take a step? The thoughts we nurture shape the experiences we create. Just as a seed grows according to the soil it is planted in, our lives grow in alignment with the thoughts and words we cultivate. When we consciously choose words and beliefs that empower us, we begin to shift our experience. We recognize that the power to break free from old cycles, to rise above self-imposed limitations, and to step into our highest potential has always been within our hands. At the moment we claim it, everything begins to change. So you want to ask yourself, what's that you have in your hand? What's that you have within you? It is so much power, and you can use it. In our lives, we want to also avoid trivial pursuits. We're talking about how we get in our ways. We know it's easy to get caught in cycle of distractions that feel important, but ultimately add little value to our lives. We fill our days with tasks that seem urgent, but fail to contribute to our growth, mistaking busyness for true purpose. We also engage in draining conversations, dwell on past grievances, or invest energy in minor inconveniences, losing sight of what truly matters. I know the one we often talk about or hear is sometimes you get into some conversation and you just come out like you just come out from a war, very exhausted. And you'll be thinking, oh, you're just thirsty or your energy level has gone low. Just the discussion, the conversation has just drained every fiber of energy within you. It has just sapped you dry. But we always have the power to choose where we place our focus. Every moment presents a decision to give our energy to the trivial or to direct it towards something meaningful. And who determines what is meaningful? You. When we identify what no longer serves us, whether in the form of negativity, resentments, or meaningless distractions, we create space for what does. We align with a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment by shifting our attention to what elevates, inspires, and expands us. There's just something that happens that even affects the physical. Each time we fill ourselves with positive vibes, you feel exuberant, you feel like you just want to take a step, you feel like you just want to dance, feel like making a move. I have a story here about breaking barriers. Short story. A perfect example of overcoming self-imposed limits is a story by Roger Bannister, the first person to run a mile in under 4 minutes. For years, experts declared that breaking this barrier was impossible. Doctors even warned that attempting it could have fatal consequences. The 4-minute mile was considered an unshakable physical limitation. But Bannister refused to accept that belief. He trained differently, visualized his success, and convinced himself it could be done. The struggle, all internal. On May 6, 1954, he ran a mile in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds, shattering what had once been impossible. What's even more remarkable, just weeks later, others also broke the 4-minute barrier. The limitation had never been physical. It was mental. It's always been mental. Whatever you think you cannot do, you can actually do much more. Most times, is for us to have that faith to step. Even if it requires speaking, speak it. Do not bother about if it will come to pass. It's not your part to bring it to pass. Yours is to speak it. Say the word. Say the word. Once Bannister defined what was possible, others followed suit. This is a powerful lesson. Our greatest obstacles are often not reality itself, but our beliefs about reality. What do you believe it's possible? So when we step beyond self-imposed limits, what we do is that we open doors for ourselves and for those around us. So let's talk about another one. Power of acceptance. We're talking about how we get in our ways and how to clear that off. One of the greatest obstacles to personal growth is resistance. Resisting what is. Resisting change. Resisting the truth of our own power. Consider the story of the butterfly struggling to emerge from the cocoon. If it resists the transformation, it cannot develop the strength to fly. Acceptance is the answer to all our problems today. We will find new happiness and joy when we accept that person, place, or thing as being exactly the way it is supposed to be right now. When we truly embrace this, we stop fighting reality and begin to walk with it. This is where transformation happens. We align with the flow of life. The mind often clings to control, but growth occurs in surrender. Again, acceptance does not mean complacency. Rather, it is the first step in aligning with the flow of life. Think about radical acceptance, the practice of fully embracing reality as it is, without resistance, without judgment. And you'll be asking yourself, what areas of my life do I have to let things just be the way it is? It is the willingness to acknowledge circumstances, emotions, and experiences exactly as they are, instead of wishing they were different. This doesn't mean you approve of every situation or abandon the desire for change, but rather that we release the mental struggle against what is, allowing us to move forward with clarity and power. Radical acceptance is what allows us to get out of our own way. So often we waste energy fighting circumstances we cannot change, replaying old regrets, or resisting the natural unfolding of life. The resistance creates suffering, and it traps us in frustration, denial, and blame. So when we instead want to choose to accept reality as it stands, we free ourselves from the emotional weight that keeps us stuck. Consider the story of a man lost at sea, fighting against the waves. In his panic, he thrashes, exhausting himself, trying to control the ocean's movement. But the moment he surrenders, accepting the rhythm of the waves, and floating with them, he conserves his energy and opens himself to the possibility of survival. So the energy we use in trying to change things, trying to question everything, wishing that these things would work the way we would want it, we use that energy and divert it to something else, growth, expansion. So radical acceptance is like that surrender. It doesn't mean giving up. It means working with reality rather than against it. When we embrace radical acceptance, we stop arguing with life and start responding to it. What areas are we arguing with life? Sometimes we just argue with life, with the process of life. And we play out things it shouldn't have been. We want to start responding. Instead of fixating on why something happened, we shift our energy toward what's next. What's opening up? What's in this for me? We stop resisting our emotions and allow ourselves to process them. We stop blaming others and reclaim responsibility for our path. In doing so, we create space for true transformation because we no longer use our energy to fight the present, but to shape the future. Acceptance then is not passive act, but a powerful one. Acceptance doesn't mean we are lazy. It's the gateway to growth, the key to freedom, and the foundation for stepping into our highest potential. Then the next one we want to look at is trusting the process of life. Many of us struggle with letting go of people, circumstances, or expectations. We resist change even when it is for our highest good. But the more we trust life, the more effortlessly things unfold. As Louise says, I trust the process of life. When we surrender and trust, things become lighter and new possibilities emerge. Trust is a powerful act of faith because it requires us to step beyond our fears, limitations, and surrendering to the power that guides our lives. It is an acknowledgement that we do not have to figure everything out, micromanage every detail, or force outcomes to unfold in a specific way. Instead, trust allows us to release control and create space for something greater to enter. Whether that be wisdom, unexpected opportunities, divine timing, or a higher order working in our favor. So anytime we say trust the process of life, we're opening up our mind for new things to happen, because we do not want to be attached to what is before us, holding us down. When we hold on too tightly, gripping onto our plans, expectations, our rigid ideas of how things should be, we often, when we do this, block the very possibilities that will bring us the most joy and fulfillment. So trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. In that situation, trust the process. It's all working out for your own good. True trust is not passive. It is an active willingness to let go of resistance and embrace the flow of life. It means believing that even when we don't have all the answers, there's a deeper intelligence at work, aligning things in ways we may not yet understand. Consider the trapeze artist mid-air. At the height of their leap, there's a moment of suspension, a split second where they must let go of one bar before grasping the next. Let go totally before holding on. In that moment, they have no guarantee of what will happen, but they trust in their training, their timing, and the power that will carry them forward. You just go up here and suspend yourself and trust that the right timing you will hold on to the nest. They risk falling if they hesitate, gripping too tightly to the past. But by releasing with faith, they allow themselves to be caught by something new. This is how trust works in our lives. We just let go totally. And not we let go with one hand and holding with the other hand and looking for. We let go totally, because when we let go, we create space for the new to happen. And that new would always be greater than what you let go. When we loosen our grip on control, we become receptive to new possibilities, allowing the universe surprise us in ways we never imagined. Because all it does is to bring good to us. I often say this is the thought of God's spirit universe for us are thoughts of good. So true trust will move from limitation to expansion, from fear to freedom, and from struggle to flow. So we want to also own our power. We want to take full responsibility for our lives. There's no power in blame. Blaming circumstances, people, or even our past experiences. Because blame, what it does, it just keeps us stuck in a cycle of powerlessness. It shifts responsibility away from us and onto something external, making it seem like our happiness, success, or well-being are at the mercies of forces beyond our control. So while it may feel justified in the moment, blame does not change our circumstances, nor does it heal our wounds. Instead, it reinforces the belief that we are victims of life rather than creators of our experience. We blame every other thing outside of us. When we blame, we surrender our power. We tell ourselves, I can't move forward because of what they did. I would be happier if my past had been different, or things would have been better if only circumstances were in my favor. These thoughts may feel valid, but what they do is that they trap us in a narrative where we wait for something outside of us to change before we can grow, heal, or succeed. And the truth is, that moment may never come because true transformation begins within. The alternative to blame is ownership. This doesn't mean condoning past hurts or denying the challenges we faced. It means recognizing that while we may not have chosen certain experiences, we do have the power to choose our response to them. It means asking, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? What steps can I take now to move forward? When we shift from blame to ownership, we reclaim our ability to shape our lives rather than remain bound by what has already happened. You have the power to do that. Consider a storm. If we blame the rain for ruining our plans, we achieve nothing but frustration. But if we accept that the rain is beyond our control and adjust our plans accordingly, seeking shelter, finding another path, or even dancing in it, we take charge of our experience. Life is the same way. We may not always control what happens to us, but we always can control how we respond. And that response determines whether we remain stuck in blame or step into our power. Every great metaphysical teacher has emphasized that our lives are our creations. We recognize that our words and thoughts shape our experiences. Your word is your wand. If we declare ourselves whole and complete, we align with that reality. So it's time to stop waiting for external forces to change, and it's time for us to step into our creative power. So in conclusion, imagine standing before an open door, the threshold between where you are and where you long to be. The only thing keeping you from stepping through is the illusion of a locked gate, one made of old fears, doubts, and stories you've told yourself about what is and what isn't possible. But what if? Again, but what if just a moment you reached out and pushed? What if you discovered that the lock was never real? What if all this time the door had been open, waiting for you to walk through? Like we said sometime, we can always play the what if from the positive perspective. Life is not withholding anything from you. The universe is not withholding any good thing from you. The path is not blocked. Nobody is out to get you. The only thing left to do is step forward. We've been treating, we've been praying, we've been affirming. The first thing is to step forward with trust, with courage, knowing that you were always meant to move beyond this moment into something greater. And you can do it. And so it is.